Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Esea MDL. We're going to be going into our first match of the day. It's me, Tom. Joining me is Scriv, and we are with X-Kom and Epsilon. And I actually think this will be a pretty interesting match. A decent amount of talent between these two rosters. And on Dust 2, which is a pug brawly map, we expect to see the battles of these players. And you know what? I'm looking forward to this one. I think this should be one of the better matches of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Epsilon, being on this upward trajectory and kind of maybe plateaued a little bit, and then X-Kom kind of doing the same, I suppose, within their own region and sort of moving up, and now on a map like this could definitely prove themselves. Really interesting to see. We've got a lot of utility coming out for the T side. We've also got some aggression coming in at pretty much the perfect time. There it is, in from behind. They're going to pick up all these kills. They will indeed. Kreese trades one back, but at the end of the day, a 4 versus 2, a 4 versus 1 now in favor of the CT side. I think it's pretty much over, and a really nice bit of aggression from X-Kom early on.
Yes, Balan. Well, he needs to get. Oh no, that was the free one. That was the one little bit of hope he had. Gotta get the HE kill. No, even that's not gonna go his way. Hope is gone. The CTs have the bomb, but they're actually deciding just to try and get this kill. So Spallan, that's the very slight bit of hope that he's actually being pushed by multiple CT players. Now, he knows where the bomb is, so this could be quite interesting because, yeah, I was about to say, he's never going to expect anybody to be there because they had the bomb. So, yeah, X-Kom catch him off guard. Not like there was really much hope left in this scenario. Well, it is going to be the start for the Polish side. Obviously, I believe the way that this works is ESEA shows the previous region they were in or something along those lines. So X-Kom are Polish, for anybody who is wondering. And I have to say, I think this is the best roster we may have ever seen on X-Kom. Like they've got some decent pickups here. We've seen Innocent and Reets come into this roster. Innocent, obviously, with quite a bit of history in Counter-Strike. While Reets, here we go. He's going to have a decent spray down, but ultimately, they're just going to look to try and pick up that AUG in a moment once they've cleaned things up. Don't want to lose really anything more. Stomp King as well. From what I've seen so far in ESEA, he is a decent AWPer as well. So I think that that's a strong pickup for them. And I think this roster, although I don't expect it to hit the highest heights within Counter-Strike, I think they have potential. Like they're actually enjoyable to watch. And I believe within the league so far, they're actually doing really well. I think, yeah, 7 played, 4 wins, 3 losses. Like they are close to a playoff situation, especially when teams like Spirit have already played 16 games. There's still a definite chance that they could qualify, and most of the teams above them have played a lot more matches and have a lot less points. So yeah, if they can get some victories, especially in the lights of today versus Epsilon, who are actually the team just above them in points, then this could be a decent season for them, and playoffs are on the cards. And well, already not a bad start. Oscarish. Oh, he's only going to manage 1, and that will mean that this has to be a B retake, which pretty damn tough.
Certainly possible, though. I mean, with the speed that this round has gone, there's a lot of utility remaining for this CT side. Half HP on Spellan definitely helps. They've got this quick flank coming in from tunnels as well, so going to be containing the terrorists in the site. There's not really a great deal of room for them to play with, and as some of this utility comes in, more and more information for the CT side. Mono going to find the first kill. On to Spellan, a nice one-tap to begin things, but immediately dealt with. He's kind of in a one-and-done spot, ultimately, unless he pulls off something incredible, and it will be the 3rd round for X-Kom. Bit of a cheeky bonus from them as well, so they're off to a flying start, honestly, on the CT side of Dust 2. Really good stuff from them.
Yeah, a strong position, and I think especially on this map, it's important. Like, this is a map almost purely based around momentum, or at least that's what it feels like most of the time. Epsilon themselves, I think they're another team that's very good at finding a lot of talent around, or that like picking up from different teams, and I think in the form of Brocky, that's definitely the case. Haven't seen too much from Screeze so far, so I'm definitely interested. By him, like a 21-year-old doesn't have an HLTV picture, so that's normally a sign for me that there hasn't been too much from him as of yet. But either way, long push coming in. Bit of a crossfire setup here for the CTs, but they're smoked off.
Ooh, nice opener coming in from Surreal, as he always does. the intro man. I mean, this is going to be quite a tough round for them. They opt to go for the buy with the lack of utility. I suppose they use most of it towards long as well. So it's kind of required that they are the ones to open up. And now just keeping these CTs guessing. As you can see, they do have that Bianca still in play, but there's a lot of bodies around this A site at the moment, and maybe, just maybe, you know, that could be the fake out that they need. It all depends on how well Oscarish does here from the back plat. Manages to get one, spots out a couple more, and is just going to look to survive and buy time for the rotations to come in. Man advantage still in favor of the T side, but Oscarish doing all the work. He will bring it down to a 2 versus 2, but again, he has bought that time for his teammates. The bomb gets dropped, and unfortunately, Surreal's on the other side of the map. There's not a great deal that he can do here. And it does look like he's just going to opt to overall go for that save.
Yeah, the time ticking, but he gets a free kill. Jumps down and spots out Stomp, and already going to be pushing back towards Mono. The problem is the clock is against him. Mono's going to be waiting on the boxes, but he guesses correctly. The Molotov's going to force him out, but he doesn't actually check to see if he's in this corner, but gets the kill anyway. Surreal with a triple and 4 HP left. It is Epsilon to manage to get themselves the victory on the board, but this is now a tough situation actually for both teams. One man survives for the T's. Money for the CT side is not fantastic, and in any other situation I'd be calling that this you have to save. But when you do this much damage to an opponent's economy, and as said, momentum is a big key when it comes to Dust 2. I think a lot of the time it comes down to who's hitting their shots. If you now look at the chance to break the economy of the T's this early in the game, that's where you sort of make the call to go for the force buy, and they are going to do that, and I can't say I'm surprised whatsoever.
Yeah, especially, again, on a map like Dust 2, you've got those scouts in play and the scope of the org, I suppose. A lot of long-range angles that you can be working with, and a lot of kind of gotcha angles that you can play and just completely catch someone off guard. Even if you don't get the kill, the early damage really can make a difference. And I think Epsilon going to be aware of that fact, going to be playing things relatively safe, as you can see, just all grouped together, looking to go for arguably the safer play. And I mean, they know that there is always this anchor here, and Oscarish, I guess, likes to play around Plat when he's on his own with this scout in hand. This time, it's going to be a bit more difficult for him to, you know, kind of dodge and weave as he did with the orb in the previous round. Crucial, meanwhile, has just crept up long. Nobody watching for him at all. Mono gets caught completely off guard, and the rotation from B comes in. I think it's going to be a free round, surely.
They faked him. He peeks way too wide into that angle, not knowing, and this has to be a save. CT side can't go for anything in this round. Just hold on to the weaponry. That's going to be easier said than done. Oh, never mind. Crucial actually caught out himself. I wonder what gun he actually had. That's something thrown over into the pit. That's an AK to be retrieved. So all in all, for the CT side, they've almost upgraded. The other two players, I believe, there was a scout, and I think it was a UMP. I think that was the final gun. Yeah, down in CT spawn. So really, they haven't lost that much, and they've gained a rifle. The T's only just winning themselves around with one player alive, so they themselves just going to keep everybody alive here. Don't throw anybody to the wind. Sure, you have a Mac 10. I guess if that was lost, it's not the end of the world, but even still, it's Kevlar and other extras that have to be rebought, so they'll just opt to keep what they have. And now I'm interested to see if the CTs buy again or if they're just going to play with the 3. I think this time I'd like to see just play with the 3 weapons you got. Make sure you can get a buy in the next round and just hope that Stomp, King, Reets, or Innocent can pull off something impressive.
Yeah, I think ultimately a lot of this is coming down to that economy game. It's really deciding the pace, you know, and Epsilon playing really well around it in the past couple rounds to kind of recognize what types of buys could be available to the X-Kom side. Maybe a bit too speedy into this one. They do lose a player initially, but damage control, they managed to win back the man advantage, and now, once again, those rotations going to come in. Oscarish still anchoring over on B, but only with the base pistol in hand. It's not really going to be a great deal of damage that he can do. However, with these 2 rifles around and with the fast boost on towards the site, you never know. There is definitely a chance that they could catch some players off guard. But again, Epsilon just playing things slowly, and I think this kind of changed once they brought Spellan in, this kind of leading voice that does like a little bit more of a methodical kind of style. They've become a lot more disciplined. I think, like we've said, Kreese, we're not so sure what he's capable of. Losing Keto, a little bit of a sting in the tail, kind of lost, I suppose. But overall, they do like to play things slowly. Innocent and Stomp King, though, picking up 2 very quick kills, and suddenly things swing back in favor of X-Kom.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed from those players. And Innocent tempted to get a little bit aggressive here, but Stomp King's in such a strong space and then hits the timing perfectly. The CT side, those 2 weapons are enough. Well, it's not quite the reset onto the T's, at least in terms of finances, but they're still not in a good position. Kreese just going to be left with a Mac 10. Galil for Crucial and no hand armor for 2 of the players is definitely not the ideal situation here, but still enough that they can go for something. The only problem is the CT side was saving in that round, so rather than getting 2,400, they get the 3K plus that they earn from actually winning the round. And now they have those AUGs, the AK, and even an AWP for Stomp King.
Yeah, things are looking a hell of a lot better. Epsilon are now the ones on the weaker buy. That was certainly the round that they kind of needed to start pulling things back in their favor. I think they would kind of, playing it slowly. Like I said, disciplined, I suppose, but maybe a little bit too patient. Because I think ultimately they were trying to bet out utility or aggression, and neither of those things came from X-Kom. So then it was like, oh, well, I guess now we don't have much time. We've got to move into a bomb site, and they just went straight into that perfect 2-man setup. So, bit of a misread. Some good damage coming in early on here onto the Epsilon boys. Again, they're all grouped up aggressively towards shore. This doesn't go well, it could be an absolute massacre once again. Stomp King and open things up and is doing perfect work here from the ramp. In comes Mono, distraction play is perfect. Sure, he gets traded, but the AWP stays alive. A 3K coming in from Stomp King and a pretty much flawless round from X-Kom.
They're starting to get into the groove of things a bit, and more worryingly after that sort of round, there's actually no money. So only a few players actually having to really rebuy in the last one. Sure, utility. Ooh, sit down, Surreal. Sit down. Stomp King's on it. And I think that's actually one of the scariest prospects for this team at the moment. This guy is very good. Like, from what I've seen so far in MDL, he has looked impressive. This is a map that, if your AWP is on point, it's damn scary. And the fact that he's also taken aggressive peeks into mid. Now, this round, there wasn't much of a counter. It was a pistol. You can't really say too much against it. But that's still not an easy shot to hit, just to peek right out and hit that shot every single time. So we'll see how many times he can keep that up. And currently 11-3 in the server, and only just getting that AWP into his hands. Looking good for them.
Indeed it is. I mean, he just picks up a quick double like it's nothing. Mono goes down, but again, the damage control here from the CT side, pretty much perfect. And I think that's something that we're seeing a bit of a difference between these two teams. Epsilon, sure, are certainly capable with the rifles, but their economy not quite being stable enough to continually pull them out. And they've lost some of those key eco rounds. That's kind of where X-Kom have stepped up. They have looked pretty much perfect. They maybe get one player traded after he picks up 2K, but then they make sure to do the damage back. Some nice early shots coming in from Crucial. So we got AWP versus AWP action, I believe, for the first time in the game, but all the same, Innocent going to take that early damage, and I suppose it's a nice start for Epsilon, but again, they are kind of lacking a little in the utility department, and you can kind of see that they are clearly shook, as it were, in the early stages of this game. X-Kom really, really decided the face of this one.
I think the problem at the moment is the fact that Epsilon have been so lackluster in their pressure towards B that it's really allowing X-Kom to really take control of the map. Like, look at their current setup. The A site has 4 players on it. The B site, technically 0, but Innocent is looking in through the window. And this is a ballsy play. Like, this is a real ballsy play to be thrown in by the Polish side, but it's one that's clearly based off a read, and that's the things you have to do on Dust 2. You can't defend everything. You have to take gambles. The problem is their gamble might be about to be punished. Mono's rotated in. He shouldn't get to, but he does. Then the third peeks in, he gets him as well. A fantastic play from Mono. Should have done enough, but Innocent still needs a kill here, and well, why not? Just headshot Surreal before he can get anywhere near the site. They've also spotted the last man in the middle. That is going to be Kreese, hoping to try and make his way in. Innocent's low, but he blinds himself. He gets both players, but I think he's running out of time. The bomb's down in mid. Even if he gets this kill onto Innocent, it's more just of a save scenario, unless he can headshot everybody as he runs past. And they know this. Look at Oscarish. So well placed to catch this man on the exit, and that is a fantastic round from X-Kom. Mainly based off individuals, the read wasn't quite right, but if Mono can just sit in middle and spray down 3 players who peek into the door, you don't really need that much strategy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just a bit too transparent from Epsilon. They kind of have, right, here's a bit of a B setup we've worked on. Here's a few A setups that we've worked on. But they're not really creating room to put them into place. They're just kind of, you know, getting their smokes and expecting that to be all that they need. You know, the flashes going over and things. But like I said, they're just not creating the space, as it were. And it's just kind of a little bit too predictable. And I think X-Kom a little bit better here, I guess, on Dust 2, definitely prepared for the CT side and just ripping them apart as they kind of just stand on short or stand at long all as a team. And that 3K in, you know, round number 9, kind of a testament to that, because they all just sort of go barreling through double doors, expecting the flashes to be all that they need, but they just get mowed down.
Well, 8-2, half already won by X-Kom, and if I was about to say if it continues, maybe when, because it's now going to be an aggressive peak coming out once more from the AWP. Stomp, he's fallen back into a secondary position. They should know this, and they do. Nice pre-fire coming out from Brocky, and now Kreese is actually going to get the opener onto short. And now this is a big problem. There's nobody left on A. Mono, a little bit wary about rotating his way through CT spawn, but spots the Molotovs, and the T's. I think the only way they really lose this round is if they game themselves, because the CTs are all stacked on the other side of the map.
Yeah, this could be a difficult one. I think the A-bomb site can be slightly easier to retake, especially when they're going for more of a short play. You do have a lot more room available to you, and kind of the long-range AWP sat in pit is a little nullified, I suppose. But, like you say, they are so very far away, there's just no chance that they can stop this bomb plant, and a very little chance that they can stop them from getting into really good post plants and just working around each other. And then there's a smoke available for the CT side. It's really not enough to eliminate some of those angles, and there's just kind of, you know, one spot, you come up ramp or whatever, you're going to get peeked by like 3 people, being smoked off short here. I think they're still going to try and go for it just because they are so far ahead. They can't afford into the next round, and even if they don't win this one, any damage is good damage. And it's certainly looking like that's going to be the case, as the bomb is ticking away. A trade here or there will actually be the T's kind of coming out on top of things, or the CTs eventually fall, but they, you know, pick up a couple kills more than they wouldn't have, obviously, if they went for the save. And as you can see, it does certainly eat into that T-side economy. Yes, they can buy back up, but so can the CTs. And if X-Kom win this one, then it's most likely going to force Epsilon down to a weaker buy.
Yeah, they're a fairly confident attempt to do damage, but it could come back to bite them all the same. Like, this has been an effective way to reduce the economy, but it has to be noted it does exactly the same to theirs. Oscar already going to be tagged low. Nade to be expended in. Could do a lot of damage. In fact, one damage. That's all that nade achieved. And now the rest of the team are going to come barreling into the site. Oscar in the corner, so low on HP, but does manage to hit the tag. However, it's Innocent to go down. Still, damage has been done on the cross. This gives them an opportunity. The nade going through is going to finish off another. The dunk straight into Kreese actually gives them an advantage on this retake. And their utility damage, although not incredible, has been enough so far. It's going to be left on to Spallan and Crucial to try and hold on in the retake.
It's going to be difficult for them as well. I mean, that AWP in the close quarters combat, not necessarily ideal, but then neither is that flash. Kind of puts them out of action for a few seconds. Stomp King, though. He is so clean on this AWP so far. I mean, he's just been a massive difference maker. They're going to retrieve a second as well as the round, but a fantastic recovery. I mean, it looked really, really good for Epsilon to cleanly take that B bomb site, but it has to be noted that they weren't able to. You know, Oscarish still able to get a kill. I think Stomp King got a kill on the cross as well, so pretty good stuff considering that, you know, initially it looked like they were down and out.
Yeah, he's been sick with this AWP. Enjoying it thoroughly. It's going to be difficult for him to be the best AWPer of the day because we do have Vitality as our last match, and, well, Zio was pretty sick, but an 18-4 scoreline for him. And we're only in the first half. It's pretty damn good. It can't be denied. We'll see if Crucial can match that in any sense. He's been very quiet so far. And most maps you would talk about how it's harder to AWP on the T side, but that's it's much of a muchness. You have the chance to take the battles from top of mid. A lot of the time, the CTs go hunting for information. So, going to be interesting. Bit of nade damage done. Head armor lacking again for a couple of the players on the Epsilon side. That could make a very slight difference. Maybe 1 bullet kills you instead of 2. Gives you a little bit of an extra chance. But it's looking like they're going to go for the B split now. Not much mid control and literally just Innocent here to try and defend it. The rotation's going to have to be very quick. Stomp King going to be in on the angle, but they've gone for those double smokes, which means there's no angle for him to find. You cannot do anything through this smoke. And while in that battle on B, we've witnessed the demise of Innocent. And actually, for the first time, I believe in this game, we're actually going to have to see the CTs go for a save because they do not have the finances for the next round.
Yeah, they seem to be a little...
What is he doing?
Not quite getting the memo. Yeah, Reitz is just moving in. Sure, he gets one, but he's traded back, and that could make the difference, right? He can afford to buy up for himself.
It will. It definitely will make the difference. I have absolutely no idea why he did that.
Kind of silly. Kind of silly, honestly. He was the bank that they were relying on. You know, Innocent might have had to kind of buy down to something a bit weaker, but Oscarish was ready for the drop that isn't going to come. Or maybe it will, but you know, it's not going to be a rifle probably unless Reitz is like no utility for me. So yeah, he's kind of screwed them with that one. All right, he's just not. All right, okay. Just like fully invest, not going to drop anything. So fair enough. I suppose it's only
not the worst.
Could have been worse, but it could have been better. That's what we're both thinking, right?
Well, yeah, the difference is they could have had a double up setup with a rifle, and instead they have one AWP and they have Innocent on an MP9. Now he's playing B, so it's not the end of the world. Maybe it was a decision that they made to try and do damage to the economy of the Ts. There may have been some sort of call in there that made the difference, but from a lost round perspective, and the T's likely to be able to buy into this, well, very likely to be able to buy into this round unless he managed to like get a triple spray down from the tunnels. It just seemed like a wasted gun, but well, they've still got that AWP onto Stomp, and to be honest, it's been enough so far. 18-4, still up the top of the scoreboard. He's locked down this A site so far. Lots of utility being expended in an attempt to force him off the angles, but hasn't really been much of an issue for him so far. And the B site definitely seems like a safer haven for this T side. Naturally, that's what they're going for. They're going to double back down. I like this. They've taken control of CT. They pick off Oscarish once again, and it's left on to Innocent, who, well, it doesn't matter what gun he had. Let's be real. He gets killed before he has a chance, and they found the weakness. I think this is great from Epsilon. It's taken them a little bit of time, but they have found the position of this CT side, which is weak. And they sort of pointed out at the beginning of the game that was one of the main risks that X-Kom were taking, was leaving this B site very vulnerable and relying on Innocent to hold it down if things went wrong. And he hasn't been able to. And once the T side has realized that, they've actually pinpointed their opponents and managed to get a few rounds in a row. So props to them. Maybe a little bit late in the half. The best opportunity for them is going to be a 9-6, but it's still possible to bring that sort of scoreline back. It's definitely possible. And the fact that they've managed to clear out every single weapon along the way is a fantastic way to win a round.
Yeah, for sure. And then coming into this round, they've got another great B spawn if they want to go for it again. going to be a weak buy from X-Kom coming into the final round. Obviously, got to go for it, but yeah, it definitely does seem, you know, like the old proverb, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So, okay. Honestly, the confidence and the just the individual skill that he's been showing, just nothing Crucial can do. That's the AWP got as well. Brocky's kind of moving back to pick it up, but very carefully. It will be an early advantage for X-Kom coming in. Certainly could be a difference maker in this round for them.
Yeah, this is one of those rounds that gets scary if you're the T side. The scouts can tag up a lot of players. You got a UMP in there that will be able to finish off the rest, and a couple of Deegs where a bit of luck goes your way and you pop a head or two. Some definite possibilities here. Maybe questioning who's going to be boosted up, and well, it was actually Storm King, and he gets killed because of it. They know the mono's in this quarter, and well, could have gone out of control, but Epsilon handled it very well indeed. Oscarish low on HP. I think I don't know if he was spotted. I think they may just be spraying through that smoke, expecting it, and he's going to be peeked by Brocky anyway. And Innocent is very, very far away. No kit for him at least, and the position where it is on the floor would mean he pretty much has to kill everyone anyway. So this is just going to be an attempt to pad some stats, and a 9-6 half confirmed.
Yeah, pretty likely. I mean, that smoke in the way. There's just not enough time, and he doesn't even make it past the first. So a pretty good recovery coming in from Epsilon, to say the least, towards the end. Like we say, they found that weak point, they abused it, and even then they moved towards A in that round. I guess it's a weaker buy and perhaps a little bit easier, but all the same, you know, they definitely look revitalized. If they can continue that momentum, Dust 2, the momentum-based map, you know, they could certainly take this game by the tail and kind of pull it back in their favor for sure.
Well, we'll get to see whether or not. Maybe a few potential mistakes from X-Kom. I have to say, like, they started off very well, and their initial setup definitely seemed to catch Epsilon off guard. So I wonder if that was maybe a little bit of research, just really playing over towards that A site. The problem I have is that after they were sort of found out, they didn't really adapt. I think that was the biggest problem. Like, we saw a few rounds in a row where Epsilon were just able to go towards the B site, and the players there were getting overwhelmed by just how many positions they had to hold. So needed to be a little bit more adaptive in their setup. Now they're going to go pushing in towards long. A good start, but Brocky's still in the pit. It's going to be a tough position to clear with the cross being held by Crucial. They managed to get into it fairly easily. Even still, he's going. And Brocky, a great shot. Another one even comes in. 4 kills. And while Spallan will take away that ace. But what a sick hold in the pit. He should have been dead within seconds.
Yeah, pretty incredible stuff coming in from the young gun. The discovery, I suppose, maybe showing his ceiling there. Really good stuff. He'd been perhaps a bit quiet in the first half, but definitely stepping it up, and that could be the opener. That could be the small window of opportunity that he really runs away with that could change the course of the game here. No bomb plant at all, so X-Kom just going to go mostly for the save. Reeks. The pistols looking good so far from both sides, I suppose. But I was just going to comment, apart from Stomp King, who has gone for that scout. So there is certainly, especially after that opener, a chance that they could pick up a few more kills. And you never know, it's Dust 2. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, I imagine he's gone for a scout because he's just going to buy another scout. So it's not really that much of a problem. Seems to be a scope specialist. Did pick up the AUG at the beginning of the previous game, but most of the time we've seen him with a sniper in hand, so going to stick to that. Even still, though, winning out this round, not going to be easy, but they kind of want to do damage. That's the biggest thing. Drop 2, 3 players, force some rebuys, reduce the amount of cash that's in the bank, and, well, already CT side starting to rectify things a little bit here. 40 seconds on the clock, and the T's have little to no ground, just hanging around that short position. And you can see Spallan starting to get a little bit aggressive into mid, trying to fight back versus them. And they have all the information. That's the thing, or at least most of it. So the chances are the T side are absolutely screwed. They set up the AUG on the cross, and then, well, yeah, there's Kreese to just close things down in the end. Nice cleanup from what was a little bit of a scare with that early kill coming in. And now, yeah, I think we're just going to get AKs and another scout. So almost exactly what was expected.
Yeah, and I mean, that's fair enough. Definitely workable again on this map. So the scout could do some damage. Smoke going to go in. He doesn't land any tags early on. But all the same, there's still, you know, the B tunnels and long that he can look to abuse, or even just hold mid for a bit. Wait for the smoke to dissipate, see if anyone rotates. All the same, I think... I don't know, I feel, you know, Epsilon playing it safe, not going for a bonus on too many players, you know, getting as many orgs out as I suppose they possibly can. Going to make life difficult for the Polish side. Because, again, that kind of utility, the lack that you have coming in, they're really going to need to find the heads. And they're just doing very similar to what Epsilon did, kind of all grouping up. I guess a little bit more of a B split, though, but this is going to be fairly telegraphed. They're going to be very ready for this on the CT side of things and looking to split it up. Pete comes in, but nice trade, meaning it's all going to be onto Spellan. He does get one with the nade, but I think his position going to be no. What's going on? They just run straight past him, and he picks up a 2K. Kreese had come through the smoke to find a kill of his own, and that is sloppy from X-Kom to not be checking their angles.
Yeah, I think they got so focused in on the mid setup that was currently there from Epsilon that they forget that there was still another member on the site. Also, the kill came in with a nade, so he never actually shot a bullet, I don't think. So manages to just be a little bit sneaky, but that's going to be Epsilon equalizing things, and the T's now just going to have to be saving a bit of cash, hoping to get that AWP in the next round. So just a few pistols, lots of utility to be brought up as well. But this is the chance just for the CT side to make some extra cash, build that economy early, get the momentum in their favor again. And yeah, from what was, I believe, what was it, 8-3? Something like that. We've seen it come all the way back now, and Epsilon starting to look like they're in control.
Yeah, indeed. I think it might even have been 9-3 at one point, but all the same, a comeback is what we're trying to say at this point, and they're looking good on this CT side, which is kind of strange. It's not normally what we expect from Dust 2, I suppose, teams that like to play it like the T side more than anything, but, you know, I suppose the way the cookie crumbles, both these teams looking good on their CT sides. Another buy going to be coming in from X-Kom, the best one that they've had, and all in the hands of Stomp King. This could be the round. This should be the round. You know, we would expect everything pretty much is perfect for them. And Epsilon kind of ripe for the taking if they play their cards right. I think it's going to be hard, though, because they are playing these very unorthodox setups. As you can see, a bit more of a B-heavy stack. We've got some aggression in towards short as well, with a bit of a two-man play. But all the same, I think this kind of informational play is going to make that difference. And X-Kom, they're the ones that now look nervous. You know, they're the ones that are kind of okay. All right, crew. I'm yeah. He just made me look like a bit of an idiot because they were playing a little bit scared, and he just runs straight out mid and like gets taken down.
See, up until that point, I like the setup. Like, the setup is informational short play, so they're pretty much, they play the retake. Like, if they go through long, they have short, and it's a decent setup for a retake. The problem is, now that didn't work out, the idea there, smoke off short, peek mid, it's risky. But if you catch a player not looking, it can work in your favor. The problem, though, is when that smoke goes down, they're going to guess most of the time. You're probably going to peek that angle. There's not really another reason to smoke off the tunnels. And this leaves Surreal with... well, he needs to go God mode, basically, if they're going to have a chance in this round. Needs at least a couple of kills to give them a chance here. Just trying to lurk around the edge of the smoke. Does manage it first. If he can fade back a little bit here, he could give them a shot in the retake. He's got to be careful that there isn't someone over towards long. But actually, the long play's not coming in from Mono. He's just waiting patiently, maybe still expecting another member. Innocent's been spotted. There's the second kill from Surreal. He's starting to make this possible. Mono should be able to kill him off, but realistically now, there's a decent chance. And there you go. That's the timing. Trade's coming back in still. Oscar's been left all on his own. The tap's going to come into the mob. It's actually just a straight defusal. Brocky just playing the game. He's sticking it all the way down. balls of steel from this man. A single bullet connects onto him when Oscarish peaks, and this round is done. But yeah, in all honesty, I think that was just maybe a little bit of miscommunication, because Mono could have easily killed Surreal way before he got those 2 kills, and that would have been the round over. So obviously not having the knowledge that we have makes it a bit more difficult, but yeah, just slightly off, and that's enough for Epsilon to get into a round that they never should have had. And while now the T's are just throwing it all in, straight towards long, Spalan's taking the first kill, and you can see the CTs, they fall right back to the sides. They're not having anything more to do with this.
Yeah, I think we are seeing a little bit of the old, not so prepared for Dust 2 as they would like, I guess, with some recent additions on both of these teams. It kind of seems, your CT sides, you just sort of play your setups, play your positions, and in essence, they walk into you, and it can be a little bit easier to read them. You just have to have a good rotational game. On the T side, though, if you're not fully confident, if there's even the slightest split second of hesitation on kind of trade frags or whatever, it can end up in a situation like we saw in the previous round, where you allow certain players to pick up multi frags. So it's a little, I think, just kind of the inexperience as a 5-man lineup, at least, shining through on these T sides. It does seem to be a glaring weakness for both teams, honestly. I suppose Epsilon, they pick it up towards the end, but still lost the first half overall. Meanwhile, coming into the second half, they look like a completely different team, and they are extremely dominant. This position from Mono, though, could certainly be interesting. Surreal has a bit of an inkling, and he will manage to take him down. So that could have been a lot worse, because, it was in a 4 versus 4 briefly. Now into a 3 versus 3. Surreal trading another one back, but the T's doing well to, in essence, gain a bit of an advantage, at least positionally, able to get this bomb down before the rotations come in. And now life gets difficult with a smoke and a flash and an AWP in the hands of Rocky. It's going to be hard unless Stomp King misses the shots. Doesn't matter so much, though, as they will both chime in towards the end. And X-Kom, they pick up their first round in quite a while. The first T-side round, for sure.
Yeah, and it's pretty much all off the back of Stomp King. 2 important openers, and then a third to actually close things out in a 2 versus 2. And yeah, it's actually surprising with how he was playing. Like, okay, the first kill was more so just a normal peek, but aggressively pushing into the site, able to get the man below him, and then also just helping with holding on. That's where we expect a bit more from the AWPer, but yeah, good work. Again, he's sat at the top of the board for a reason. 24 kills. The only person anywhere near him is Kreese on 18, so he has been, well, I want to say the difference maker, but the fact is they're not winning. So maybe not so much enough just yet, which sounds kind of harsh. That's almost like a simple-esque level stat that you'd need. Like, oh, yeah, well, you're not doing enough. You haven't got 35 kills. But at the same time, that may be necessary if X-Kom are going to be able to take this. Or someone else can maybe step up to the plate with him, because there is quite a drop-off in frags at the moment. And Innocent, surprisingly, one of the most experienced players within this roster, down the bottom with 6.
You hate to see it. Or maybe, I mean, if you're Epsilon and you press tab, you'd love to see it. But all the same, it's not ideal. But I don't know. I think it's still a bit of a latency period. Crucial. Nice stuff from him, to be fair. The timing perfect. Obviously, he was fully blind. But it's just kind of, a flash comes in, and then timing, someone will peek. And that's what he was waiting for. And he clicks at the perfect time, finds that opening pick, feeling confident as well on the angles here. The double scope to take down Stomp King. That's going to be a second kill. I'm not sure if he spotted the bomb, but I think they are, starting to get a bit of an idea. However, not yet rotating across. So there's still room, there's still time for X-Kom to maybe find an opening, but they aren't feeling it. A late Molotov comes in, followed by some more utility to keep them back. However, they're still sticking around. They're still going to look to move forwards. Or are they? I mean, they don't even know at this point. They've dropped a player into lower tunnels and another one going towards mid. The bomb will eventually follow, but they've got 20 seconds to get to B. I mean, it's not looking too good, to be honest. I think they now realize we don't have any time. Let's just save. So X-Kom, they win one, but immediately go back to their nervous kind of play style and just Yeah, it's not looking good from them on this T side. I think they'll be able to buy back up.
Yeah.
But Epsilon have just got their number at this point.
Yeah, Crucial starting to step up as well makes things a little bit scary. I believe he was 2 and something like within this game. Is very far down the bottom of the board and has now started to step up with the rest of the pack. And I think that's the difference at the moment for Epsilon is that they're more of a pack. There's multiple different players that have had their moments and stepped up to the plate, and only really seems to be one man on the other side who's done the majority of the damage, and him going down early in the last round made things seemingly problematic. Crucial again. They've been trying to throw this boost in a fair few times into the lower tunnels, but not really much presence in that regard taken by the T side. They've mostly been playing over towards this A site. And that's the exact reason we see one man in the form of Brocky just sat there homed in. This setup's actually kind of ridiculous from the CT side. This is a fully fledged A stack. And I was about to say they might be in a little bit of trouble, but it seems like the T's are actually going to go doubling back right in towards their position. Now, they've gained pick control. Maybe that's the reason we're seeing Epsilon in that direction a little bit more, just because they don't have control of long and maybe expecting the T's to go there. Smoke going to be coming in. I'm just interested what's going to happen. Are they going to opt to play through mid? Because that could be the perfect way to win this out for the T side. Just throwing this in as a little bit of a fake. They double back. They're going to spot Kreese. That's the free kill. Now the panic button will be called by Brocky, who's going to realize, yeah, they're pushing into my position. He has to do some real work with this AWP. Well placed, manages one. Looks for the second, finds it as well. Can't quite finish off Oscarish, but he's given them a strong opportunity here.
Oh.
And they don't know. They don't know there's another player not in this site. Luckily, Stomp King has flanked as well and will save his teammate from certain doom, but it's going to come down to this 1v1 on the site, and that's it. That should be round done. Bomb drop, 10 seconds. Good luck, Stomp King. You need both kills.
Yeah, he might just get one here, playing the contacts, but surely Surreal is just hidden away. He is indeed looking to get him after time, maybe. Not going to happen, though, as Stomp King backs away. But yeah, players all over.
That was messy.
Yeah, just kind of hidden in random places. It eventually works out for the CT side, but it could easily have gone the way of the T's with Stomp King on that flank. You know, if Surreal fails his opportunity, as it were, if he doesn't catch his opponent with a nade out. But yeah, it was messy. A great way to sum it up for sure. But like I say, Epsilon kind of coming out on top. It's a fairly expensive one for them, so they're still not quite out of the woods here. If they, lose this round, then it could be an opportunity for X-Kom to start closing the gap. But in the same strain, if X-Kom lose this one, look at their money. They're not going anywhere either. So a really, really close round. This could definitely decide the game. I suppose X-Kom have got that loss bonus stacked up, but they're going to need a bomb plant. Managed to creep a player in towards CT, and they have no idea. Kreese just walks straight into him with a nade, with his, rifle out, his head just in his hands after that one, honestly. A bit of a messy start once again. So X-Kom actually have a pretty good chance at maybe taking this round if they play this advantage. Yeah,
they have the pretty much perfect scenario to hold off whichever site they don't decide to go to. So if you just look at Oscarish at the moment, sat in the CT spawn, the main place to rotate through. It seems like the CT side know he's there, but the timing's not the best. Luckily, Crucial's going to go big, and they actually clear that position. Crucial and Surreal just holding it down together, and that was nuts. That was just sick from Crucial, staying alive all the way through that fight. Surreal as well, managing to kill off a man in a position that he never should have been able to clear. Epsilon have come up big over the last few rounds, and X-Kom have fallen completely flat. Bear in mind, as I said, they were 9-3 up. They have won one round in, what, the last 12?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right, to be fair. I'm pretty sure that's kind of the way that things have gone. Yeah. And the trend apparently going to continue. Reitz tries to get aggressive, goes down. RIP. Like you say, Crucial really been picking things up in this second half with that AWP. Lacking a little bit on the T side, but certainly making the difference, consistently getting openers, sometimes even two. And other times able to kind of save the round from the brink of defeat, so to speak. But I think with this round, the game probably follows it's just a dire situation for X-Kom where the money is dire. It's force buy yourself into oblivion or hope that one of the force buys works out. And as the case may be, again, losing that opening pick, it is not looking too good for them in round
Oh, let's
number
go.
25.
Run boost. Oh, crucial misses. He's actually going to manage to get down below him. Misses again. May not even matter, though. Or now it does. Now his teammate's gone. It matters a little bit. But there is also another player in Goose. This is just a bait and switch. Kreese is just the little gremlin in the corner, just like, you were never getting to this site. You believed for a second. But you should never doubt that I am lurking in the darkness. 15 to 10. And, well, at least there's a buy now on the board for X-Kom, but most have been unsuccessful so far. Well, with a double AWP setup. The only real saving grace is if they do win a round, the money really isn't there for Epsilon. But considering they've won 1 in now 13, I can't say I particularly believe.
Yeah, I kind of feel you on that one. It's just not looking too good, is it really? And they don't really have everything available to them, unfortunately.
Well, crucial again. His aggression onto short has actually been incredibly successful. It has to be mentioned once more. I can't remember what it was. It was like 2 and 10 or something ridiculous. He had a very slow start to this game. He now sits close to evening up his tally. And, well, it is just bleak. We've seen even Stomp King start to fall off a little bit. He was 18 and 4 since then. He's still been doing well, but it's hard to keep up that same level of momentum across the game. The rotation's going to come in towards this B site. They've struggled to break it down, and Spallan and Brocky looking to go for a very aggressive peek. Now, Innocent has the bomb. It's all going to be on timing. There's that first kill. They're actually going to look to try and fade back. They've got to be careful. Innocent's coming in from behind. He should be able to get himself a freebie. And now Brocky's got to do something incredible. But of course he does. Flicks from one, back to the other. And he's going to close out this game for Epsilon. Victory from them in the end as they turn things from what was a dominant looking position for X-Kom into, I even want to say, a fairly easy victory. Like, by the end, it didn't even look like X-Kom were ever in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I think ultimately, those T sides, they just really need some work from both teams, at least on Dust 2. But yeah, just everybody stepping up in that second half. Really, really impressive stuff from Crucial, especially. And I think maybe X-Kom getting a little bit too reliant on Stomp King to just take control of the game. He did in the first half, but not quite able to continue it in the second.
Yeah, he won them their only round on the T side, but it was a little bit tougher, and his counter-op started to step up as well. Either way, that is the first game of today. We've got a German derby coming up next. More German CS, of course, although X-Kom may be slightly Polish, but these guys actually are. We've got alternate attacks facing off against Expert. Make sure you join us after the break.